Good morning everyone and welcome to another Travel Malta video. I'm Michael, as you know. Today I'm talking about Gozo because I've been getting a lot of messages from a lot of people who are asking me whether it's worth adding a visit to Gozo in their trip to Malta. And also I'm seeing a lot of stuff about how to get there and this and that. So guys, going to Gozo from Malta, it's not like, leaving Athens and heading for the Greek islands or anything. Gozo is just over the ditch there. It's a 20-minute ferry trip from northern Malta, okay, from Turkelwa. Now, as a general rule, I would say if you're going to go to Malta for about a week, you're probably not going to have time to get to Gozo, especially if you want to go to the Blue Lagoon at Camino. You're just not going to be able to spend enough time in Malta to do everything you've got to do in Malta as well as Gozo. I believe you need about 3 weeks really to see everything in Malta. If I was going to go to Malta for longer than a week, I would probably do a day trip to Gozo, okay? Most certainly. Now, there's only a few ways to get there. Somebody asked a question on a post the other day, is there any way to get to Gozo other than by boat? And the answer is no, not unless you're going to fly or swim there. So there is a ferry from Turkelwa up north. This is very, very good. And this is the only way to get a car to Gozo from Malta. So if you're going to drive there, which I highly recommend, because a car is going to get you around Gozo in areas, quicker than a bus will, and to places that a bus will not get you, okay, off the beaten path. So that's the Turkelwa ferry terminal. They go up and down every, it's about 40-45 minutes. It's very good. It's about a 20-minute journey. You've got the fast ferry from Valletta now, which is also excellent, I hear. Never used it. Costs about €7.50. This is a walk-in type ferry. You can't get your vehicle on it. So this is from Valletta. Very handy if you're staying nearby in Slima or St. Julian's, Zira, Valletta, all those areas. Okay. And then when you get to Gozo, there's bus services. There is a hop-on, hop-off bus that's excellent, I hear, which takes you at all the main sites, all the main beaches, all the main attractions, on and off. And then, of course, you've got the option of taking a private boat, private charter, whatever it is that you want to arrange, depending on where you're staying and who you know and who they know. So these are all possibilities to get to Gozo, okay? There's no bridge, there's no tunnel, there's none of that. You're going to go on the sea, all right? Most of the time it's pretty calm in summer. We do get some wind occasionally. Now, let's talk about Gozo and what to do there. Now, I have in the past done day trips to Gozo. Taken on a challenge. I remember one very, very memorable trip I've got fond memories of with my cousins, the girls. We did about 7 beaches in a day in Gozo. We planned it out. I led the pack. We took 3 cars. We got to the ferry early at about 7, jumped on the cars, headed in, and we visited Schlendi Bay, Marisal Foreign, Hondo Irumbin, Duwaira, the Blue Hole, all that. The inland sea. We went to a place called Mjarachini. We went to Dahlet Orod beach, magnificent snorkeling, and we also went to Witil Azri, that beautiful valley there, Azri Valley, that I've put many pictures up where you go swimming out through the little river in the valley out to sea. Fantastic. We did all this, and we did lunch at Marisal Foreign at the Odyssey restaurant, and we had ice creams at Schlendi, I remember. All in a day. We went in one direction, clockwise or anti-clockwise, can't remember. We'd spend 40-45 minutes swimming at each location. I'd get out, dry off, toot the horn. That was a signal to everyone to get going, get up, dry off, and we're going to leave in 10-15 minutes. And we did it fine. Now, it is possible. Ideally, though, you go to Gozo for a bit longer. And if you're going to Malta for any length of time, a few weeks or a month or even longer, I'd highly recommend what we do, and the last 3 or 4 years we've booked a farmhouse, and we've had some beautiful different farmhouses around Gozo. We're staying at one this year at Sun Laurens. Actually next month we'll be there in Gozo. We've also stayed at the Cornucopia Hotel a couple of times, and there's some wonderful hotels offering rooms, a bungalow type arrangement, really, really nice. There's Tachanch, Cornucopia, there's so many wonderful ones. So check them out. But I'd highly recommend a few days in Gozo. It's really nice. No rush then. Mornings, early mornings should be spent in the capital, Victoria. Rabat, a nice walk from where you're staying perhaps. Last year I was walking them from Azri. Get to Rabat, the beautiful Piazza St. George, where we'd sit down, have our coffee, have our pastizzi, just watch the atmosphere build in the morning, nice and early, before it gets really busy. and then we'd all meet and take off and do whatever we're going to do. There are several beaches. There's a number of attractions. Of course, there is the excellent Heritage Malta Gigantia temple site. This is one of the better temple sites on the islands. This is a must-see if you're going to Gozo. It's mind-blowing. I loved it. When you get out of that, this is probably an hour trip. Once you get out of there, if you look up the road, you'll see a lighthouse. This is Takola Lighthouse in the village there, which is a lighthouse, one of the few working lighthouses still that have been restored on the Maltese Islands. You can actually walk up there and up the stairway in the heat. You get up there, you're puffing and panting, enjoy the views. You can see the inner workings of the lighthouse. It's very, very nice. And there's a bit of a sort of like a museum as you go along the way, all the old ancient stuff, etc. Of course, there is the sanctuary of the Basilica of Tapino, which is the big church there, sort of in the middle of nowhere. This is the site where the miracles happened, and this is definitely worth visiting. Not only if you're of the faith, but even if you're not. There is a room attached to the church where you can go there and look at the walls and see all the pictures and read all the dedications, people praying for miracles, others who claim that they've experienced miracles. You can read the stories, it's quite moving. I often get messages about this place. This is not a half-day visit or anything. This is 45 minutes to an hour at most. It's just somewhere you stop and enjoy and admire and respect. All these places demand our respect, of course, even if we're not of the faith. And if you're going into that church, guys, in the heat of summer, just ladies, cover your shoulder. They'll give you a shawl when you walk in. Guys, don't walk in there with singlets or anything. It's not going to happen, okay? You need to cover up a bit. So you're going to love Gozo. I hope this helps. Please feel free to send me any messages or any comments you like. I'm here to help, and I wish you all a wonderful time when you're traveling there, if you're traveling there. If you're not, you need to think about traveling there. Talk to you soon. Have a great day, everyone. Bye for now.